So I threw the Senate at him. The whole Senate. True story.
Oh my God, that is so funny.
You made it come out of my nose.
Go for Papa Palpatine.
You have a collect call from
Darth Vader. I gotta take this. Hold on. Vader, how's my favorite Sith? Whoa. Just slow down. Huh? What do you mean they blew up the Death Star? Oh, who's they? What the hell is an aluminum falcon? Okay, so who's left? Are you me? Well, where are you? Wait a sec, you've been flying around for 2 weeks trying to get a signal? Oh, you must smell like feet wrapped in leathery, burnt bacon. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought my Dark Lord of the Sith could protect a small thermal exhaust port that's only 2 meters wide. That thing wasn't even fully paid off yet. Do you have any idea what this is going to do to my credit? Hang on, I got another call. What? I'm very busy right now. Oh, well, where are they going? Huh, all right, just get me a turkey club. Coleslaw, I guess. I'm not even going to eat it. What are you getting? Yeah, see, I always order the wrong thing. No, I'll just stick with that. Okay, bye. Wait, what? Oh, cherry Coke. Thanks. Sorry about that. What? Oh, just rebuild it? Oh, that real f***ing original. And who's gonna give me a loan, jackhole? You? You got an ATM on that torso light bright? Now get your 7'2" asthmatic ass back here, or I'm gonna tell everyone what a whiny bitch you were about Padamame or Panda Bear or whatever the hell her name is. Oh, jeez, he's crying. Hey, come on, don't do that. Just, look, I'm just dealing with a lot of crap right now. Death Star blown up by a bunch of teenagers, I didn't mean to snap. Okay, just get back here. Okay, bye. I love you too.
Hello, everyone. How you doing? It's me.
That was
Chris
really
Knight.
sudden.
It always is, and I gotta be ready for it. I was somewhat ready, not completely ready, but somewhat. Anyways,
I wasn't, so good thing I wasn't picking my nose or nothing.
That's true.
That's why I kept my camera off. Okay, just in case.
Good call.
All right. I think we're gonna go like.
You never know, Chris.
You never know. Anyways, my name is Chris Knight. This is, of course, Chaos Central's the Andor Roundtable for Season 2, the last season, of course. And we finished it up. We had our 3 episodes, Chapter 4. We're going to talk about today the likes, dislikes, overall thoughts, grades, all that stuff. But before we do that,
before we do that, why are your hands green?
Because it's the I told you, it's the whole thing. It just
he's been hanging around with Fiona while Shrek is in the other room with Donkey. Okay, he's been hanging around with Fiona. Enough.
God.
Gotcha.
Oh my God.
I thought maybe you'd been enjoying your green lightsaber.
Oh.
I'll let that one slide.
Oh, well, maybe.
Slide where?
Good times.
We're just really into it now, aren't we?
Somebody is.
How it is.
That's what she
Okay.
said.
Green Fingers is certainly into it.
Oh my God. All right. Anyways, guys, we're going to go around first, let everybody introduce themselves. We're going to start right over here to this side, whatever side that is, the green. Woo. Anyways. Yeah. Dandelion, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself, please.
I'm Dandelion Fluff. I'm just, here to cause trouble.
Mm-hmm. That's
Mostly.
right. Yes. And she does a fine job of that.
Apparently.
The founder of the Ginger Cabal, whether or not she wants to admit it or not. Austinator.
Certainly active member.
Oh, I see. There you go. She's coming around.
Founding member.
Mm-hmm. Austinator.
Hi, everybody. I'm the Austinator. Check me out on my channel. I'm on everybody else's channels at this point. So, check out Guy Scar, Basco Scenario, Robert Storms, Chaos Central, everywhere. Just check me out.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
We'll get right on
Shifty.
that.
I'm Shifty.
Yes.
That's right. He is. It's the truth. Elihu.
I'm Elihu, the high science guy. I can be found on X, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, various YouTube channels. And as a scientific note, I want to inform everybody that this was released a couple hours ago. James Webb's telescope officially detected a molecule called dimethyl sulfide on a exoplanet approximately, about 118 light years away, 104 light years away from Earth. And this is knownly produced by marine photoplankton and emitted by decaying plants and animal matter.
Cool.
So, yep, some breaking scientific news for you guys.
Now we know what Elihu does with his free time.
That sounds like
Yeah.
a cool thing to be doing with your free time. Following
I mean-
scientific updates.
Uh,
Enjoy them while you can, since your government is defunding all of your scientific research.
Yeah, please don't remind me.
who needs that stuff, though? Come on,
We need Earth protection. Come on, NASA's budget's been cut by 12%. Sheesh.
Anyway,
Yeah.
let's go on.
Anyways. All right. Next, Seth.
All right. Yeah, I'm Seth. Star Wars Network. I mean, really, there's nothing up with me. I used to be Nindroid 243, and have no channel right now. So.
Wait, you don't have a channel, or your channel's just not doing anything right now?
Technically, I don't. I don't even have a channel anymore.
What? What'd you do with it?
I deleted it.
Oh my gosh.
Why?
Did it peak?
Let's just say I kind of got sick of it for a while.
Gotcha. I get it. I understand people who say
Now
that.
you can re-release all the stuff like it's brand new.
Exactly. See?
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Up next, Positive Candor. Positive, please tell everybody about yourself.
All right, Positive Candor, and I have friends everywhere.
Yes, he does.
I don't have friends
And-
anymore.
And with that, we're going to go right into it. We're going to talk about the overall thoughts of these 3 episodes first. So let's start just right the way we just went. Dandelion, tell everybody about your overall thoughts about these 3 episodes in Chapter 4.
I liked them. I think actually the previous 3 episodes were a little more better contained, but I did like these 3. I thought there was some really good stuff in there. Except for everybody in this show wears so many layers of clothing that I felt overheated just watching it. It's exhausting.
Okay.
So many
All right.
layers.
Okay. Austinator.
Man, that shit was depressing as fuck. I mean, good God. At least this shit made me feel justified in hating myself at the end. Episode 9 was very good. And then the rest happened.
10, 11, 12.
Episode 10. I don't care.
Exploded. I mean, you've got to enjoy that a lot of people exploded.
That is true, but at the same time, if I wanted to watch people explode, I would just watch explosions.
He played Grand Theft Auto 5. If you wanted to watch people explode, he would play Grand Theft Auto 5 and run over a barbecue.
Yeah, you're good at that.
Chris has got to makes a good point.
It's characters you hated exploding. So it's got to be.
That is true. Dead Woman's now a psychopath. It looks like. Andor is now a deadbeat father.
Heavy on the dead.
Yeah, you know what? But before I wrap things up, what a poetic way for this to end. Because always in Star Wars, there's a lot of deadbeat fathers, and now Andor is one of them.
Very good. All right, let's go down and talk to Shifty. Overall thoughts?
I mean, can you be a deadbeat father if you didn't know? I mean, is that possible? I mean, I think
yes.
It's a little bit harsh.
In this generation, in this age, you don't know you have a kid. That is your fault completely, and you are a deadbeat father.
But it's not in this day and age.
Yeah,
it's like a long time ago.
In that day and age too.
I don't know. I think if somebody takes up and doesn't tell you they had a baby, and nobody tells you that you have a child, then it's not.
Was Forrest Gump a deadbeat dad because he didn't know Jenny had a kid?
And also think about it this way.
I think Chris is just being judgmental.
Yeah. This kid must have pissed him off.
Did nobody see this coming? Did nobody see that part of this coming?
It was a little bit. I thought that was one of my least favorite parts. I know a bunch of people were like, "Oh, it's poetic and a little bit."
Oh, it's so nice that he continues on. And now we're gonna get Andor 2.0 season 1, where his son grows up in Rey's time, and
It's funny, Chris, that you say that, but Tony Gilroy said no. He said, absolutely not. We are not doing anything with Andor.
Who owns the property?
Yeah,
they can just push Gilroy aside and say, we're taking this and running with it. Anyways, okay.
Let's just have final say.
Okay, Shifty, what else? Anything?
I haven't even started. The great chapter. I still think season 1 was better for the consistency, but these last 2 chapters were really, really great. Andy Serkis did show up, but despite being heavily rumored, I guess he was just on set and somebody leaked it and they were like, "Oh, he's back on the show." But
maybe he was the little old woman in the wheelchair or the
maybe. Gilroy said that Kino Loy was never coming back. But Naboo that panned out, the cafe scene, Naboo. So that was cool. Mendelsohn. The finger on the head to Dedra, that was total improvisation. That was the best hand on a woman's head improvisation since Leo DiCaprio rubbed blood on Kerry Washington in Django Unchained. That was totally improvised too.
Wait. I've never seen Django Unchained.
Leo broke his hand.
Unchained.
Oh,
Unchained. Excuse me. Excuse me. Unchained.
I'm just screwed.
And episode whatever, the one where they were in the shop. Yeah, there was a skull of a Gungan in there. Huh? Yeah, 10.
Yeah, 11. 11. Yeah,
okay. Okay, episode 10. There wasn't 10 Gungan skulls. There was just one in episode 10.
Okay. All right. And is that all your overall thoughts?
Yeah, that's all of them. Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right, Elihu, go ahead.
I actually kind of like this, but episode 10, I was kind of getting the Jeff Goldblum vibe. I was like, hello, is there any Andor on this Andor show? I'm like, where the hell hello? Other than that, I'm like, okay, I enjoyed the backstory. I like the connection. I like the intermixing of the generals with the plans and the rebels. I liked it.
Okay, very good. Seth.
Okay. This was almost perfect. This whole, last chapter. I would say I was really amazed by it. Just these last 2 chapters in total, but this one, this is my favorite chapter. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Positive.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Alternator. It's kind of bleh.
Very good. Okay, fair enough. And I personally am with Seth on this. I thought that this was really good. I was trying to figure out how they were going to put this in, and actually, they did a really good job making it where he's leaving to go and get the intel, and now it's even, I guess, showing you how more desperate he is to get the truth, and the reason for why he's as desperate as going and killing somebody that's a contact. So, we all know in the first scene that Andor's in Rogue One, he goes and he kills, I forgot the guy's name. Starts with a T. Oh, God.
Yeah, like
T-Big.
T-Big. It's T-Big, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, T-Big.
Tibic.
Too late. Tibic. There you go. We're going to get one of these.
Yeah,
Anyways, but it was... It just shows you that as we watched it and as it ramped up, how he got to that point. So I like that it kind of does show why he's as frantic and mantic about things that he was. So, all right, let's start and talk about our likes. And thank you, Dandelion. I appreciate it very much for helping me.
Mm-hmm.
I need all the help I can get. Anyways,
mentally, yes.
There is no help mentally for me, so don't even go and make that a joke.
Okay.
I won't make it up anymore.
Positive. Let's start with you. What are your likes of this chapter?
The end credits.
God.
You just told Austinator's line.
Yeah, Krennic doing his finger on Dedra's head was definitely a powerful scene.
Mm-hmm. Does the one
like more stuff if you don't want? You can always come back later if you think of something you like.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. I got more negatives than positives, unfortunately.
Okay, that's fine. Seth.
Okay, so let's start with episode 10. Yeah, this is why I really love Clea. Like, really, this season made me really like her character a whole lot. Like, she was great. Her whole infantry, like, going in there and having killed Luthen while seeing the backstory. Like, I was one of those guys which, I mean, everyone made theories on Luthen and all that about, oh, is he a Jedi? Is he this? Is he that? No, I always thought he was just some random guy who, was sick of the Empire and all of that. So it did not disappoint me that he was legit just a war sergeant, and he just got sick of it. So it's like, I really felt like that whole episode 10 was great. And then everything like with K2SO and the following one, Andor and them all going and Melshi. I just like seeing a good mission. Like, this is what I wanted from Andor, was like him going on missions to do certain things like this, well, he's going there and he's trying to save Clea and all of that, whatever. And Dedra, her basically getting arrested and she ends up in a prison similar to Andor himself. back at season 1. That was great.
Do you think that's the same one?
At least she legitimately committed crimes.
I believe Gilroy said it is not.
Okay.
He said it's a
Similar.
women's, specifically
Yeah, it's
a women's
one.
prison.
It's similar though.
Yeah, it's similar, but it's a women one only, supposedly.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense because I mean, there's different labor camps. Like there was one on Kessel with Wookiees and all of that. So there's different with all this stuff. But anyway, yeah, K2SO's one-liners throughout the whole arc was awesome. You know, him just kicking ass. I love it.
Are you with us? No.
Yeah, no,
I love that.
I just love that completely. I liked Portuguez or whatever his name is. His suicide, I thought was interesting, you know, at the end for his failure. Krennic stole the show when he did appear. You know, I loved that they legit kept what his character was in Rogue One, where, you know, yes, he acts like he's stable and all of that, but he's actually like, he freaks out very easily. Like he freaked out over the whole Death Star thing, and he's like, oh my God, yes, we were 3 days close and all that. And then you get to Rogue One and he snaps a lot in that movie as well. So I love that. And then the final episode mostly, I liked all the, you know, lead up to Rogue One. I like that Cassian is sent to, you know, the Ring of Kefri or whatever it's called. And I like how all the characters got resolved. Some of them that we thought, okay, they're probably going to die. They didn't die, which I actually was like, okay. I mean, hey, they could have just been a background character throughout all this, you know? And yeah, you know, I felt like it was a good resolved ending, you know?
Very good. Elihu.
Well, the good thing I already knew that Andor was not going to die in this show. That's a good thing. I knew he was going to be safe. So
He might have. He might have been only, like, mostly dead and then brought, you know, back to life.
I did like the interaction and how he was training her when he was raising her as a little girl. It's like, hey, we do what we have to do. I'm here for you, but I will not be here for you if you need to be. I'm like, I love that little that exchange they had on that hillside. It's like, I forgot the exact words. It's like, hey, we do what we need to do. Sometimes we lose. Sometimes we win. Basically, I love that speech. I'm like, okay, I'm going with him, because she could have just turned around and just went back to the village and did something with that fire scar and the people. But no, it's like, okay, I know what's safe. I know I'm safe with you. I know what to do. You're gonna keep me safe. I'm with you. I love that little raising growing up there. Deidre's character, holy shit, you said it right. She got just desserts. Oh my gosh, I was wondering how it was going to close her arc down. I mean, I thought, because, you know, everybody has that classic trope, where all the women in Star Wars, like, women don't have anything to do with Star Wars. I'm like, okay, she's this prominent woman here. Are they going to act play on this trope? Yeah, they did. They gave her the 180. They made knowledge of it. Yeah, women are shit. That's a Star Wars trope for you. What else? Shit, there was one other thing. It's about Luthen. I forgot what it was. Luthen. If I remember about, there's one other thing I liked about Luthen. If I come back to it, I'll let you know.
All right, Shifty. Get your notes out.
No, they're out. They're so out. I like how things kicked off in high gear automatically, just with the conversation with Lonnie and man, man, how they left him on that park bench. That it's expected, but you hate to see it, because all that time he should have knew something. would happen like that. And I don't know. I would have had a gun pointed straight up on Luthen. It was like, you got to get me out of here. I wouldn't have left it like that because now his family. Who knows what happened to his family? The Imperials might have.
They're probably safer this way than if he'd still been alive. Now there's no reason to like torture them. Or
I don't know. They might have got wiped out.
Luthen made sure his family was safe, but he kept him on the leash. He didn't care about his family. Like, okay, they're out of the picture, out of the way. I'm concentrating on you. He wanted to make sure, okay, family's safe. I got you when I play. Now it's all on you. So yeah, his family's safe.
That's what he said, but he said a lot of things that he didn't keep his promise on. So we don't know. Clea, man, wow. That whole episode of her trying to get into the hospital with the alien lady and setting off that explosion, taking out Luthen, that was great. I wish we had a few more episodes like that throughout the series because it really made it feel like, Mission Impossible. That's what this show I was hoping was more of, sort of Mission Impossible-ish. But yeah, that was great. K2SO, wow, that whole corridor scene where he picked up Home Skillet and he used him as a human shield and he just flung him. That is great. That's great. I wish he came in the series earlier. Yeah. Let's see. The ISB CSI scene. There was a couple of them. That was awesome. We need a show just about that. I want an Imperial show, just a straight up Imperial show. And if it's ISB CSI or whatever, that I want something like that. That was great.
CSI.
I think so.
That actually would be a good show, man.
Yeah.
The way you're talking about the way they was honing in on the signal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
how they were just going over the whole the art gallery. Partagaz is in. That was great. Now this is a plus and a minus. The series, this really makes you hate the sequels even more because the sequels kind of undermine everything that happened in the original trilogy, Rogue One and Andor. All this, they just reverse everything that happened. But at the same time, the scene where Andor is trying to convince Mothma and Bail Organa that something's going down with Luthen, it makes you understand why they couldn't get the rebellion or the New Republic up and running, because they were all bickering. Nobody believed each other. That it just shows how they were ill-equipped to really get that thing set up. And when the Empire tried to get back to form the new order, nobody was believing it. So they put some hints in there as to what would happen, but at the same time, it kind of undermines stuff. It's a plus and a minus there.
Okay.
I just remember what I was going to say about Luthen.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you for reminding me about that, Shifty. At the end, when everybody was coming together, I love that they did not give Luthen's backstory. It was a mystery. Was he a former Jedi? Was he just one soldier? Was he just a random citizen? I love that. Basically, the rebellion itself is not an individual. Yeah, he helped bring it together, but they didn't acknowledge who he was. It just acknowledged the fact that it came together. I love that part. They didn't acknowledge Luthen's background.
He's a former Imperial sergeant by the name of Lear. That's all we know.
Yeah, but they didn't emphasize anything else. It's like, okay, this guy, he came together, but we have struggles here, but he actually brought everybody together with his own little intertwined, like, okay, this group is going to do this thing, and these two groups here will form together and become a solid group. He put everything together, and yet they didn't acknowledge him, but yet they acknowledged the togetherness of the rebellion. I love that. The George Lucas spirit. And one other thing. John fucking Williams. The end credits. Thank you. Sorry. So I had to add that.
Okay. Ostinator. We're going to set you a timer for 5 minutes, man. I can't let you talk all the rest of the day.
Oh, I appreciate it, Chris. Episode 10 was very good. Too bad there's no fucking Andor. Because, Yeah, well, what does that say? That some of the best episodes of the show have nothing to do with Andor. Like, what does that tell you here? But other than that, the episode 10 as a whole was probably one of the better episodes of the show. I really liked Luthen and Dead Woman's like interaction there in the museum or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know, like artifacts.
The gallery.
Yeah, the gallery, artifact store, museum, whatever. Tomato. Then he died. He committed. He tried to commit the knife thing.
Hare Krishna.
Harry Carey. Harry Carey, not Harry Krishna. Harry Carey.
Yeah, sure. Why we'll call it that. He was trying to cut
Unaliving himself.
Yeah, he was doing that. That didn't work, so he's like, "All right, just take me off life support because I'm an old man." And that was the lesson I learned: is if you're an old dude and you tell your adopted daughter almost like, "Hey, yeah, we gotta do what you gotta do." But what I'm really saying is, I really want you to if I'm on life support, take me off of it because I'm an old man. That's what I took it as. The rest of the episodes were fine, I guess. The one officer killing himself because he was like, "Oh man, the stress of the rebellion's getting to me and I failed." All right, well, give me a gun real quick. I'm gonna solve my problems real quick.
He probably didn't want to end up in a prison like Deidre.
No, he was more. I think he was more scared of Palpatine than anything else.
Yeah, probably.
Because he was right report directly to him.
You know what? And you know what? I wanted to be exactly like that Imperial officer at the end of all of this. But all I could think of is But the only reason why I stopped thinking like that is because thank God I never have to watch this shit again.
Wait, I'm going to go do a Rogue One roundtable next week, Chris.
Sure. Osinator, you ready for that one?
Gee, I'm
Follow up. Come on.
Excited.
It's a conclusion to the show Andor.
Shiver me timbers.
Anything else?
Hang on, I'm trying. K2SO, I guess, was cool. I mean, he's a robot and he was flinging people left and right. I mean, that's cool. Dead woman getting lobotomized by Krennic or whatever his name is. I thought that was kind of cool because it was like, oh shit, power dynamic, let's go. And then she got sent to prison, which I was like, yeah, cruel irony, and continuity, I guess. And then I was like, man, I really wish I want to be lobotomized. And then I became very sad because I was not lobotomized.
But now you're happy you're not lobotomized again.
Yes and no.
Eyeball and nose.
The music and visuals look good again. You can tell through my voice, I just don't care anymore. I'm tired. And also, I guess Andor adding to the statistic of deadbeat parents in Star Wars is actually kind of funny in retrospect. I mean, you have Luthen, who's an old dude. Palpatine's an old dude. Vader's a deadbeat dad. Andor's a deadbeat dad. You can draw some parallels.
Engineer's a deadbeat dad. The engineer who got kidnapped and had to build the Death Star.
Oh, see, that's a good point. He is a deadbeat dad.
Yeah, that's all right. I forgot his name. He was mentioned. I forgot his name.
If you're kidnapped, you're not a deadbeat dad.
To that girl from the follow-up movies. The woman who... I don't remember her name.
No one remembers her name.
I don't remember anybody's names.
I don't remember. I'll be honest with everybody. I don't remember anybody's names in the show besides a couple people because I don't care. Did I like anything else? No, I don't think so. That's all I gotta say. It was fine, I guess. The episodes were fine. They were good, I guess.
Your enthusiasm is overwhelming.
I know. I know, guys. I know.
It is. It's a breath of
Palpable.
fresh air.
Palpable tension.
Don't you guys feel excited just based off my enthusiasm? Like, is it brightening up your night? Is it brightening up your day with the levels of enthusiasm I'm giving you?
Absolutely, it is.
Except
So
for
much
it's
so.
full daylight here, so not so much my night.
Well, there you go. What she said.
Yeah.
And if you didn't like what she said, it's her fault, not mine. Well, you're going to blame me for it anyway. So let's move on to Dandelion.
What I liked. I really I know everyone's like, oh, why wasn't Andor in the episode 10? I liked that they gave Luthen his own episode because they ended up making him sort of like a key instigator and one of the, of the rebellion, right? Like as far as like funding and logistics and stuff like that, and kind of like connecting all the threads of all the different factions. Like he was the core of that in a sense. Mm-hmm. And so I like that they gave him his own episode for his like final moment on the show, even though he wasn't like, in it entirely, being, unconscious for most of the episode kind of thing. I liked that. What other things did I like? Did anyone get the, it wasn't the same little girl that played Cassian's sister that was child? Was it? Because I checked for that,
No.
but I didn't.
No, it wasn't.
Do you think that was a missed opportunity?
I kind of wondered if
it would have been
go
too
that
much
way.
if it was a cut to make that a thing.
I think with what they're trying to do with these types of shows, expand the universe, that would have made it feel way too convenient, or just how improbable is it that's
I know.
what happened.
I know there was some interview or something that said they weren't going to really get back to that, but I thought it was like when they had him dreaming about her again, like
they could have done it.
It was like, girl with tangly curly hair, so it could have been anyone.
They could have done that, and with the fact of who they made Luthen, it could have worked that way.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, obviously they're all in the same part of the galaxy, so, it wouldn't have been completely out of the question.
No.
But anyway, I was pretty sure it wasn't, but I thought that would have been interesting if it was. I don't know if there was anything else I was super, super excited about. Yeah, I liked Khaos. So he was pretty cool. He had some good lines. I think there was again, it felt like with it being a year jump, it felt like we missed so much, right? Like, why was the flop house so trashed?
Well,
right?
Doesn't it show them?
Nobody's been there for years.
Well, but the thing is in some of the promotional video and at the beginning of the beginning of our intro, it shows him and Bix leaving and it exploding.
Yeah, but that wasn't their apartment. That was the torture dudes.
I know, but I'm wondering if they kind of implied that was the case, or it's abandoned and it just looks like it was blown up and it's just a bunch of water coming in because it's abandoned. I don't know.
It felt again, I know this isn't necessarily a positive, but it was it felt like a lot of stuff must have gone on that we just didn't get to hear about. Mm-hmm. I think they were, in a way, they were also thumbing their nose at the whole fact that we only got this one more season when they really wanted to do several seasons, perhaps. But anyway, I did overall, like I said, I liked it. I really liked Luthen getting his own episode. I kind of liked a little bit of backstory of him and Clea. That was really good. I liked the rescue because, a good rescue caper is always, it's second to none on if you got a heist caper is good, and a rescue caper is probably number 2 on cool capers. I actually, as far as episode 10 goes, I think it was one of those really cool just episodes of TV, completely removed from what it was or the show it was in. If you watch Doctor Who, the Stone Angels episode, the original Stone Angels episode in Doctor Who, that is just Doctor Who's barely in that episode again, and that's just an amazingly well written, super creepy, good episode of TV written.
Yeah, like Blink.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Blink. Yeah, that episode was like, I mean, this didn't come up to that level, but I thought it was like in that same kind of really well written just episodes of TV. But the following 2 episodes, like I liked the rescue, but I don't know, I felt it kind of. Anyway, I won't go into negatives. I didn't have as positive of feelings about the following 2 episodes overall. So I'll leave it at that before we carry on for too long talking about nothing.
Okay. I'll just start off, and this is going to be the way I'll start off both my positives and negatives with hectic. These 3 episodes were hectic, which I think works for it and works against it. But the way it works for it is they are nearing the time, and they find out a lot of information that actually they realize they have to act on pretty quickly. The fact that they bring up the Death Star or that stuff makes sense now. I liked the whole Luthen part. I liked the hospital part. Let's see here. Definitely K was, I mean, I think that's one of the best parts of Rogue One too, just the witty way that he plays. That they.
Can I interject for one moment? I
Sure.
think you spelled Rogue One incorrectly in your little subtitle. I think you spelled it Rouge One.
Yep, I did.
Just
Thank you.
thought I'd mention it.
My typing.
Moulin Rouge?
Thanks.
Ooh, hey.
No.
Ooh la la, Moulin Rouge. Souvez,
There you go.
ce soir.
There you go. All right. And
Don't do that, Elihu.
when I'm typing quick,
You're
sometimes
like
that
those
happens.
Gormans with the not French language.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no. But the I think the whole playing around on Coruscant part was really done well, where it, they have to make that decision, and he says, you have to go, you need to remember this, all that stuff, because I think he kind of already knows it's up for him, because when he talks to is it Reggie, or is it who's his Imperial guy, that the guy that he kills?
Lonnie.
Got the mustache? Lonnie.
Lonnie, thank you, Lonnie. I knew it was like IE something. Anyways, Lonnie, like he says, he's like, I don't know, any minute now. Like Lonnie knows he's dead, and Luthen knows pretty much that he's dead too.
I thought of one other thing I liked as well.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna let you finish, but
Okay, all right. Well, so Lonnie knows he's dead, and I think that part where Luthen, more than likely, who's the one that killed him, I mean, it seems appropriate. He's told him that, it's on Yavin 4. I think he does all that to calm him down, and then he kills him. Much the same way that mirrors how Andor kills his friend in the beginning of Rogue One. He's like, hey, it's all right, and then boom, kills him. They just, calms him down long enough just to kill the guy. So I thought that had a really neat way of showing how much alike these people are. Even though when Andor says...
Sorry, but why else would he tell them that where the rebel base is? I'm like, dude could be a double spy. I'm like, yeah, he's trying to comfort him. I agree.
no, I think he knew he wasn't a double spy. I think he just
No.
Yeah, he was trying to comfort him. Yeah, he's like, otherwise,
Well,
why would he tell him Yavin? Yeah.
Well, that's what he's trying to do. But he's doing that also because he knows he's going to kill him, and he's frantic right that moment. So he wants him to calm down and then kill him. But anyways, the part on Yavin where Andor talks to Ortega or Organa, Senator Organa, he says, you and Luthen actually had more in common than you think. That part. I like those things. It's just showing that all these people involved in this rebellion, while they think that they're better than or they're higher purpose, it's all the same. They're all taking these risks, and that's very important in this, because you want to know that they're all just as much worried about what's going to actually happen. And now we add that Death Star into it. All that was done very well. The credit scenes, I think that guy's great. I think he's perfect. And what's really nice in this is, you know, a Grand Moff is higher than he is, but even here he's talking crap on Tarkin. He's talking crap to another Imperial officer about Tarkin, which just shows he thinks he's so much better than everybody else, which then builds into everything more on when you see Rogue One and him with Vader. When Vader, you know, don't choke on your aspirations. It's like Vader knows he's going to throw everybody under the bus that he can to get up higher and to get closer to the Emperor and get more out of it. And you just see this has always been the way that this character's been built. And I think it was Seth, right? Seth, you were talking about that, right? This is who he is, and they didn't hide that. They just you get to see more of that, and I like that too. I thought it was done great. Yeah, so I'll end that there. Dandelion, what else?
The other thing I liked was that it was Dedra's personality and her like obsessiveness that caused her own downfall, right? That she kept like sort of the same way that what's his name, blue milk guy, Cyril. Like he caused his own downfall in the first one by not so much like, I mean, you know, he was like very effective, but he was doing something he wasn't told to do. Like he wasn't following orders, and that was his downfall. In the same way, she sort of ended up continuing, even though she was like really effective at like hunting down the character she was looking for, like the person she was looking for, who turned out to be Luthen. It was sort of, it was interesting that it was that, but that she was going against orders, doing that was the cause of her downfall. Because the whole thing is you have to follow orders. Being effective or good at something isn't enough.
Well, when you're by yourself, go ahead.
It has to be within like the, you know, the structure of the military, right? Like you can't be like a loose cannon.
Well, when you're by yourself and trying to do something, like you said, out of order, you don't necessarily make mistakes, but you have to take risks. And if those risks don't pay off, like if she had captured Luthen without being dead or without being dying and brought him in, maybe she talks her way out of it. But because he tries to kill himself, and now it's like, well, here he is. We knew he was here. You knew. You didn't involve anybody else in it. And now look what happened. And now she takes all the blame. And then the guy that's her superior, direct superior, you know, the whole ISB ends up basically shooting craps in this because, and I think that it plays very well into the beginning of Star Wars, where he talks about the regional governors will watch over their territories and that they've dissolved the Senate. This is showing manic decisions by the Empire, but primarily by Palpatine, because Palpatine doesn't trust anyone. Therefore, he cuts out every bit of structure that he has. The ISB, which is an investigative unit, these other people, they cut Critic out. They start going with only people he trusts, and ultimately, the one person he trusts the most does what?
Betray him.
Throws him over the railing, and then so it's like I think this just shows the dismantling of the Empire from within, and it's done very well how they do it.
But Chris, somehow Palpatine returned.
We won't even go into that. But anyways, all right. So let's go with dislikes, and we'll start with you, Elihu.
Wow, Senator Square. I feel honored. Wow, hey. A couple things about my dislikes. Deidre, her character, she's basically was institutionalized since she was a child, but yet she didn't follow orders. She wanted to do everything herself to seek glory. And that did not align with an institutionalized person. No. I'm like, that was kind of a little off for me. I'm like, wait, why is she doing this if she was institutionalized as a kid, follow direct orders, do as she's told, and not circumvent anything, but yet she's circumventing shit. I'm like, what is going on with this person? That did not make any sense to me. That part did not. What else would I do? did not like about this. Yeah, these credits are too fucking long. Come on. I'm lazy. I don't want to reach up to my mouse, click next episode. I want as soon as the credits start. Do you want to watch the next episode? Yes or no? Like,
So
come
you
on.
want this to be on Netflix, is what you're saying.
I want it to be shorter credits.
Netflix will jump to the next episode.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's like Netflix does. I love
think
that.
that's a you problem, not a negative about the show.
What else? Shit. Yeah, not that much Andor in episode 10. I'm like, yeah, I enjoyed the backstory, but the show's called Andor. Have at least the character in there for at least 30 seconds. Blink had the doctor in there for 3 minutes. Runtime, come on. At least have him in there for 30 seconds at least. Not end the recap. Or use footage from the previous episode at the end of that episode. Come on. No.
They probably listed him in the credits.
Yeah, because they recapped him in the previous episode. He was in the runtime. That's why.
Known that that you watched all the credits, so you would know that. He was in there. He was in the credits.
Yeah, because he was in the runtime during the recap, during the end of the thing. They just re-show the footage, which means they had to actually give him credit for that. So technically, he wasn't in the episode. People are complaining that why is Star Wars paralleling current events? Because just like the current administration, yada yada yada. Like, no, dude, shut up. This was written 2 years ago. Okay, it just happens to be a happy little coincidence. It does this. Okay, people need to stop complaining. These shows were written several years ago. Okay, it's not written a week ago, filmed and aired. No, these writers do not know the future. Okay, just because something parallels something. Do not start complaining and trying to get likes and clicks and views on social media because of this, okay? Stop this fucking bullshit. I'm tired of this. That's one of my main dislikes about this. People are trolling this shit, hell out of this shit on social media. This is paralleling this administration. This is doing this. Like, yeah.
So I threw the Senate at him.
Exactly.
The Senate.
Exactly.
That's where you're right.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Are we supposed to be able to see something there? Because
No. OBS crashed.
Oh.
Sorry.
I thought it was just agreeing with me. Oh, well.
No. I can do that if you would like me to.
No. That's one of my main dislikes about Andor and what other people are saying about it. I'm like, if you like the show, you like the show. You do not like the show, like some people on this panel have expressed, say you don't like the show. You don't have to have some half-assed excuse and current events to try to relate to it. Just say why you do not like the show. Because it's slow and pedantic or because it rocks in action scenes. Please make it clear why you like the show or why you do not like the show. You heard us, so why do you like the show? Why do you not like the show? Please be honest. This pisses me off. I'm done.
Okay.
Well then. All right. Let's go to Shifty. Dislikes.
Man. Okay. Yeah, I'm not pissed about my theory not coming to fruition because I'm used to it by now. But I
fell on the rumble.
Yeah, but I do wish there was there's a tiny bit more to Luthen's backstory, just a little bit more than him just being a sergeant for the Imperials and turning after bombing some villages or whatever. Yeah, because I mean I like mysteries and I like kind of being rewarded for theorizing and all that. I mean even if it's not my own theory, I wish just give us a little bit more, and they didn't. But whatever. The Willman storyline is disjointed. They didn't. We thought maybe that they would, mention something about, Saw Gerrera and his time with them in these last 3 episodes, but no, I don't know what that whole, unless all that was just to show how Saw got his breathing apparatus, or I don't know.
It was basically to set him. It was basically to set him up before he got killed in the movie. That's where he was. That's how he, they're trying to set him up.
Well, they also mention in so in the movie they're like, we're going here because we know Saul Guerrero's there. We just need you to be the person to make the introduction because he knows you. So this is just reiterating where they got the information or how they knew or the fact that they did know.
And is he in the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, Wilman's in the movie. Okay, I didn't know.
No. I'm talking about Saw.
Saul's in the movie.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the reason for that scene. Sorry, man.
Yeah. I'm just, I just wish there was more consistency to Wilman's storyline there because, we thought he might, pick back up on what happened there, but it seems like I don't know if they just took what was meant to be, a season 4 storyline and just slapped it in season 2 without the ending, and I don't know what happened there.
Okay.
Yeah, it was almost more like that was just to show why Saul Guerrero ends up super fruit was crazy.
In retrospect, yeah.
It had nothing to do with Wilman at all. It was all just about showing why Saul was crazy.
It just feels, I don't know. That's like my only complaint this season, my real complaint.
Yeah, that was his turning snap point on it. He doesn't trust anybody because of that conversation they had.
That in the first 6 episodes, or the middle, or the second.
He kind of trusted people, but with that conversation when he was a hologram, that's what's the turning point where he realized like he doesn't trust anybody but himself. That's why he was aggressive with Andor.
Well, they already showed that he was like that because
he was a little lenient. He was more compassionate. He was more empathetic toward Cassian. But in the movie, he was like straightforward. No, boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, he definitely had gone crazier by the movie.
Yeah, he did. I mean, the best part of that conversation was she goes, "We know where you are." No, I could be anywhere in the universe. He goes, "No, we know where you are." He goes, "No, I could be anywhere." But yeah, that's really all I've got to say about this. Like, it was a great 3 episodes. Great last 6 episodes. Yeah. Good show.
Okay. All right, Austinator.
Why are the credits 8 minutes long?
Why do you don't have to watch the credits?
It's to let you know the 50 languages that it's in and everybody involved with the 50 languages.
Dude, the last time
next episode either.
Sorry, John Lane. What?
I'm gonna say Austinator didn't want to lean forward and hit next episode either.
Yeah, no.
Well, see, let's just be honest though. Austinator didn't want to go and watch another commercial that was the same commercial of the 15 previous commercials he'd watched.
You shouldn't have to watch. You shouldn't have to watch credits unless there's any credits scene because the only time you need to watch credits if you have to drive and watch a double feature and the first movie just ended. Okay. And you wait for the second one. That's the only time you should actually watch the credits. I don't think
who understood what I just said. You watched the credits because it was better than watching the commercials that he had seen already.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's kind of to be said. But I didn't watch 8 minutes of credits. But the fact that I think these episodes are kind of misleading in terms of the run times because most of it is just credits. So, I mean... Also, was it just me, or were these episodes way shorter than last week's batch?
They were shorter.
Episodes.
Yeah, episode 11 was shorter.
That was just kind of like, Grant. On the one hand, I was happy because I was like, oh, thank God, I don't have to feel like I'm rushing this week because I don't have to watch a full hour. I don't have to watch 3 hours worth. But at the same time, I was like, man, for this last batch of episodes, for each episode to be almost 40, 50 minutes, wow, that kind of sucked. That was kind of lame. I mean, they did find what they could, and granted, maybe it was better off that they did. But at the same time, it was okay, whatever. Bail Organa, or I'll call him not Bail Organa, because I don't. Who's this guy? He's way too. This guy looks like if the wrong gust of wind, if a small gust of wind shows up, he's gonna fly away because he, I don't care. This whole show, it's also again episode 10, no Andor, and this whole season, it felt like it was about everybody else but Andor. Everybody else was just hanging around, going, hi, we're gonna be doing things. Andor's just in the background for a good chunk of it. On the one hand, again, I get it. Andor, we already know what's gonna happen. He's gonna die. It's fine. Listen, it's fine. It's cool. You're gonna die, but at the same time, your show's called fucking Andor. I didn't watch the Mon Mothma show. I didn't watch the Bick show. I didn't watch Serial Guy show. I didn't watch Dead Woman. Like I watched
did
Andor.
watch those shows though.
I did. Yeah, it's crazy. At the same time, I'm like, man, I really wish we could have gotten at least a little bit more Andor here. Good God. I mean, even episode 10, he just didn't even show up. This is like Book of Boba Fett level of bad, where like Mando just didn't even show up for an entire episode. So that was stupid. You know what? It was fine. Again, everything was fine. I don't care. And you know what? That is the greatest thing I could say about at the end of this. I didn't give a shit at the start, and then by the end, I don't give a shit because at the end of the day, Cassian Andor is a deadbeat father.
Oh, hey,
Gotcha.
I think most of us probably got the name of the show wrong. It's not Andor. It's actually what it's supposed to be is or. It's either about the lead character or somebody else on the show.
No, this show should have been is really called Everybody But Andor.
All right. Anything else?
No, I'm just glad that we're done talking about I cannot believe it's not Andor.
Just like the butter. That's not.
It's not butter.
Exactly.
I can't believe it. It isn't butter.
I can't believe it's not. I can't believe it's not Andor.
I'm sure Austin Nader will be more hyped for Ahsoka season 2.
No.
All right, Chris, who do you want next?
We're gonna go down to positive.
Okay. First negative is okay. There's no consequences for Luthen leaving the Empire. He just.
We don't know that he did though. Like we get a bit of a time jump. He might have not like defected. He might have finished out his service.
No, he bailed with Clea. Clea was in the ship.
Yeah, but he could have just kept her hidden there and then snuck her out when they got back to base.
But yeah, he deserted. You don't desert and not get caught, especially if you're in the Empire.
Yeah, look at Finn. They called him deserter.
But there's plenty of situations. I mean, granted, the way they did it in Solo, a Star Wars story, is not exactly how they did it in like his EU storyline, but he very much defected from the Empire in both situations. So he did the same thing. It's not unheard of.
He changed his name and stuff.
Yes. Right.
I'm just saying.
Unheard of.
But I'm just saying.
Okay. And then okay, you're going to change your name just by reversing it, really? From Lear to Rael? That's all you do is reverse it?
Yeah, it didn't work for Shang-Chi. It didn't work for Shang-Chi. Sean. So, yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, your face is still the same.
Hiding in plain sight.
You know, and everything. But yeah, to me, the whole idea of him deserting, that he just never should have really put that in there. That he was part of the Empire. Because yeah, the whole idea of him deserting, his name was Lear. Okay, you reverse it to Rael. Woo. Well, that's original. You know, it just left me thinking, yeah, how unoriginal is that? And then, yeah, his death was in a way a cop out too. You know, yeah, he cut himself whatever, stabbed himself, tried to with that knife, and then had to rely on Clea to take him off life support. I mean, that's didn't go out in the.
Do you think he planned for that to go badly? And
No.
Okay.
Well, yes.
You think
I don't know.
He
I don't
plainly
think
said that they had run out of all their
perfect.
I guess luck or whatever.
They're perfect.
Yeah, all they're perfect. And he knew it was the end, basically.
Well, yeah, I'm not talking about that, but you made it sound like he left it to Clea to finish off his death. I don't think he planned on being brought into a hospital and put on life support. I think he thought that was the end.
Yeah,
Just the
because
way the way you implied it made it sound like you thought he expected that they might try to save his life and that she would then have to come back and take care of it.
Well, he didn't do the greatest job trying to kill himself. Let's put it that way.
I mean, he took a pretty damn sharp knife and...
Yeah, dude, he even told her that the rebellion is no longer here. Basically, he's the last thing of the rebellion, and she knows this. That's why she had that. That's why she's there, because he's the last of it. He's the head of it. He started it. He knows this is it. This is it. He had that knife on him. He still had that knife in his hand, so he was trying to end it all. I don't think he even planned to go to the hospital.
Okay.
Sorry.
I asked a question.
But technically, he didn't finish the job of destroying his machine, because they still traced the little beeps, boop, 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 to the hideout.
He got interrupted. That was a customer.
Yeah, duh. Like I said, he didn't finish the job of destroying the evidence.
Okay.
So again, just I mean, you got two things now: Solo and Luthen, two dudes who've escaped the Empire, and but of course, Solo kept his name.
And Finn.
Yeah. Huh?
Finn.
In this universe, it's easier to defect from the army than it would be in our world.
Everybody forgets about Finn.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything else?
Let's see what else negative. Oh yeah, Bix. Major negative. You gonna cut and run and not even tell your why? You just she knew she was pregnant when she left. But she didn't tell him. Yeah, man. Talk about being a bitch, basically. And then you're just gonna raise Cass Junior, whatever, Cass 2, whatever you want to call him, on your own now. Basically, it was a very unsatisfying ending with her walking. I know it was supposed to parallel, because I watched the video of it, parallels the ending scene with Rogue One really well, surprisingly. As far as Bix hugs the child a certain way, and you see Cassian hugging Jin that same exact way. So they paralleled that down to the second. So they purposely did it. So if you look for that video on YouTube of the ending of Rogue One and the ending of Andor, you will see there's only one part when Vader is on. When they show Vader at the end, that kind of cuts, that doesn't exactly mirror everything, but everything else pretty much mirrors him and Jin's exact movements with her movements. And I thought that was very interesting how they did that. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, I would suggest you watch that.
Send me the link in Discord when you got a second, and I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to search for it on YouTube, but yeah, it's some kind of YouTube video where I saw where they put and it only lasts 3 or 4 minutes, whatever it is, or maybe just that 30,
Yeah.
40 seconds, whatever, minute or so time frame. But
Anything else?
I mean, like I said, I mean, you had too many kind of convenient things happening, especially in the hospital deal. I mean, I guess and from what most people have said is, if they ever do a spinoff, they want it to be feature Clea, because she's the most interesting character now, with all her teachings from Luthen and everything. So yeah, if she can take down a freaking hospital, Imperial, with a bunch of Imperials in it, then she can do some pretty, Mission Impossible type stuff in the Star Wars universe. And obviously she's not in any of the movies. Her and Vel are not in anything. So if you're gonna do a separate follow-up show, I guess it would feature them too, because they're not even, and maybe Wilmon, as your other, because I mean Clea could still be very useful. Maybe she also helped get the second Death Star's plans, along with the Bothans or with whatever. You know what I mean? So we know. I mean, I could imagine that happening.
Chris,
But anyway.
I remembered a couple other things. Sorry.
Okay. Well, hold on. Positive. Anything else? Positive. Anything else?
No. That's
okay.
it.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay.
Well,
The de-aging of Luthen was off the spot. Was 100% great. Yeah, I love that part. Two things. Are the rebellion poor because are they the only one who uses Baka tanks? What happened to everybody else? Only the Republic uses Baka tanks. Nobody else does. So I didn't understand that part.
Kind of wondered about that too.
Yeah.
I think that is more of a maybe a save the space area. Maybe they may have more hospitals in Coruscant. I don't know. I mean, it's a good question, but I don't know if it's a breaking world thing. I mean,
I was kind of confused about that.
It would seem that if they would have them, they would have them on Coruscant.
Well,
yeah,
but
because it is a
but
hospital.
it's not necessarily meant to keep somebody alive. They do specifically state that Vader isn't kept alive by Bacta tanks or anything like that. He was kept alive because of his hatred of the situation. And that when he was brought in, that's why they did all this stuff on him when he was still in pain, because that's what the Emperor wanted. He wanted him to stay in pain. So I don't know if they ever have done anything in the series of Star Wars to necessarily explain exactly what a
Baka tank.
Yeah, to necessarily explain what that does more than minor healing. Because he stabbed himself through, so maybe the fact is that's not going to fix it. That he has to get to a point where they could put him in that situation. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying it's not a good question. It is. It's just I don't know exactly if that ever. I don't know if that's world breaking. So, anyways, anything else?
Yeah, if the Empire is so powerful, how come they don't know about Vespa? I mean, what's the point of the Stormtroopers' plastic armor for lasers that just go right through your helmet? Come on. I'm like, I see this all the. It's like, I know it's a classic trope, but still.
Seth's going to explain it.
Armor never seems to work in this show.
Well, yeah, the armor's all cheap too, because Palpatine is a cheap bastard.
Palpatine knows that. Okay, so the way that they handle Beskar is that it's worth more doing other things than saving stormtroopers, because they can recruit another 1,000 more stormtroopers and put them in plastic.
Armor on at all if it's just like
it's a false
paper in front of you.
It's false security and it's a false narrative. which is
But
what
they would
the
know
Emperor is
that
known
it
for.
Sucks, so I don't know.
Maybe.
Okay.
I did think it was funny though that when they hand it to the supervisor, they push it on him and it sounds like plastic. That was kind of funny. Anyways, okay, we do need to be moving on. Is there anything else?
Yes, one other quick thing. They never answered the question. I didn't even see this. How many Bathos actually did die trying to get these plans?
That's Return of the Jedi, not this.
Yeah, but still.
That's Return of the Jedi.
And it was
Return
just
of the
one.
Jedi.
It was just one named Manny.
Oh, okay.
All right, I forget. Is it just Dandelion and me now? No. That's right. Okay, so Dandelion, I'll let you go.
Okay. I think my main thing was the hospital, like when he steals the little old lady.
She does.
Like, wouldn't that be noticed pretty quick? Like you ran off with a patient, like even if like somebody would start looking, like put an alert out in a hospital pretty quick for that. So I thought that was a little icky. Not icky, but like a little bit. And then my main issue was I wish they had shown us that the knife was sharp, because that was just some hinky old like stone knife. And we're supposed to believe he like stabbed himself with that like ganky stone. Like if she had like slightly cut her thumb and gone, damn, that's didn't look obsidian or anything like that. So it didn't look very sharp, right? Like you would pretty much have to like thrust, like put it against something and like hurl yourself onto that knife to like stab yourself in the heart, which is what I think we're supposed to assume he attempted to do. And so I just kind of questioned that he just sort of managed to like just do that by hand. Like it seemed like he would, he didn't like fall onto it or anything like that. There's a reason why people fall on their blades, because it's very difficult to stab through your own flesh, especially with some hinky 6,000-year-old stone knife. Just that was kind of like, it was like sort of so well done, and that one thing just made me go, really? Really? Like that? Yeah, that just sort of like, that kind of like took me out of the moment. The other thing I didn't like the Bix thing. Like I still thought it was like unlikely that he wouldn't have gone after her, or at least known where she was and found out what was going on with her. Like that he would just like let her go seemed extremely out of character for him. And so I just thought he would have at least have tracked down where she was and have known what was going on with her. I thought that was a little bit sus for his character. And then just the it was just such a trite ending with her having the baby and stuff. I don't know. I guess it's supposed to make us feel all like, oh, that's so sad. Because, when he dies and stuff and doesn't even know that he's a deadbeat dad.
Andor dies? No way.
Everyone dies, dude.
Oh.
Anyway, that's probably my main things. Yeah, the knife thing was probably the thing that kind of I thought was like a bit, like we don't even see him like leaning against something heavy. It just looked like they tried to make it look like he just like stabbed himself. But I wish they'd shown us that it was really sharp or something beforehand, as opposed to like it would only taken like 2 seconds, for it to have just like kind of gone, like touched the blade or something and just like, not even said anything or anything like that. It could have just been like shown that it was quite sharp or something like that. Because I don't think it's actually all that easy to stab yourself with a knife, especially not a 6,000-year-old stone-ass looking knife. Anyway, I don't want to keep.
I think that's why he's turned around and she like says, she's talking to him and he's just sitting there, because he's probably sitting there going like,
right?
I mean, but I think that's just kind of expected. Although I don't know, I definitely wouldn't pick stabbing myself as a way of suicide, even with a sharp knife. So I don't know. Okay, anything else?
I don't need that. I'm sure there's something else, but I thought that was really the two main things. That and stealing the little old lady, I thought was a bit like questionable, because I think the hospital would keep track of patients, because that other nurse was, I'll be right back. And then when that other nurse came back and the patient was gone, she would have like
rang up something. Hey, I'm missing a patient. And it always makes me wonder why Imperial officers and stuff can't understand alien language, but the rebels always can. It's like they understand every freaking language in the world. And yet Imperial, here's this woman probably telling this guy, dude, I have no fucking clue who this woman is.
I don't think that Clea understood what she was saying either.
Well, I don't know. I'm not stating that she had to have. I'm just saying that
I did think it was intriguing that it was the same species that was behind Clea when she was watching that execution. And then there's like another little old alien person right behind her, like the same species. I was like, oh,
isn't that the same as the isn't that the same as the maidens or the maids that Luke has on Octu?
I don't know. No,
I can't.
No, it's not.
Okay, anyways,
the freaking nanny looked like E.T. I'm
sorry.
sorry.
No, she reminded me of an old trans Watu without wings.
Okay. All right. Seth.
Okay, I got two. My bigger one is actually the new troops that they decided to bring into the apartment and all of that. Okay, first off, why the hell did they not wear a helmet? Because they're just wearing their hats and they're going in there. I'm like, you guys have death troopers. You guys have stormtroopers. Why the hell are you guys using these guys out of all of them to get in here? Because this is a very important mission.
They do imply that everybody's out tracking down the
they do
infected patient who left the
hospital. I understand that, but the ISB also has death troopers, though.
It was a little
like, I'm over here like, where are the death troopers? Like, it's just, okay, whatever. And then, now this goes to the whole Luthen and knife stuff, all right, with Dedra. If he knew he was gonna die there, you know what he should have done? He should just exploded the place.
Yeah, a bomb. That would have made more sense.
Yeah.
All the evidence in the back. Let me show you. Like a false storm.
All right, let him finish. Let him finish, please.
No, but that would have completely saved everything. Dedra would be dead, so Dedra would not tell the Empire or, her former assistant, oh, hey, by the way, there's an assistant of Luthen's that probably knows this shit. So Dedra would be dead. Clea would be away with everything perfectly fine. The Empire would not know anything about her, really. And Luthen's all evidence would all be destroyed. So it's like...
I don't know if he expected it right then, though.
Her to go to the hospital, so...
Yeah,
they would have had to write a totally different episode if they'd done it that way.
No, I mean, they could have written it where, hey, you need to leave now. You know where to go, blah, blah, blah. These are the things you need to remember. And I am going to blow up the place and do that. I mean, and if it had shown him planning charges and then going to pour the acid on, and then she shows up, he's like, I guess I'm dead. Maybe he was planning on getting out, but if he had planned the charges, that could have been a sacrifice moment, which I think may have been a little more impactful, but I think the sacrifice being Clea's, not his. Clea mercifully taking his life, that works too.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. But I don't know if he really thought that moment she's going to come knocking on the door, which I was not surprised to see that, but I was surprised to see it play out the way it did.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
Nope, that's going to be it.
Okay. I'm just going to make mine short and sweet here. The one main thing that I have a problem with, and I've said this about Rogue One and primarily Rogue One in this. I think most of the other times when they've gone backwards in time and made new stuff. Bad Batch stays pretty true to everything. Solo, I understand people of the EU who don't like the backstory. It's fine. Most of that stays pretty true to things about Han Solo. So a lot of this Rebels, but that was still in line with what we know. This is in line with what we know, but it's characters we don't know about. And now we find out Willem's still alive. Mon Mothma's cousin's still alive. All these people are still alive. Like I think it was Seth or Shifty or whatever, or whichever, whoever said it. We all thought these people were all going to be dead. Now we found out they're not. So why didn't they bring him in Rogue One? Okay, then you say, well, they didn't expect to do this. And there's all those answers, but that's why you find a way to kill these people off or put them someplace where you think, okay, so they sent this person here and they are just a side piece going on over here doing something else. I don't know. It bothers me that you add all these new people and we don't finalize anything about any of them. Mm-hmm. That's why Rogue One, all the people that complain about it said, oh, you know, nobody matters in this. It doesn't matter because they made sure nobody matters because they're all dead. It made sense to kill them all off. So I didn't have that. I didn't have to have that attachment with any of those characters or any heavy attachment like I have with Luke or Leia or Han. You know, you feel for Han's death. Well, you feel for Han's death in the sequels. Granted,
wait, what? He dies?
Yeah, that's what I was like. I seem to, when it happened, I seem to have been the only person who didn't know. But what?
You were frozen. Now you're not.
Okay, all right, sorry.
You were turning the next headroom.
Yeah, I mean, even Han was a deadbeat dad, you know.
Well, yeah, technically. Well, no. They sent him off for training, and then he left. So he did at least put his kid in school. Anyways, I start caring about a character, and now you just leave it wide open because there's so much more story afterwards. We never see these people again. Mm-hmm. Kill them off. Just kill them off. Just be merciful. Kill them off, and they didn't do that. So that bothers me. I'm sitting there thinking the same thing as Rogue One. Okay, well, none of these people really matter. They all die anyways. And no, they don't. So it just bothers me. Let's talk. Yeah.
Well, why can't he just, have a happy ending? Like Wilman's with that girl, and maybe Clay hooks up with Vel. I mean, why can't they just?
How the hell does it have a happy ending? They we know that they abandoned the base.
Yeah,
and so now, but what my point is that then where did they go? It's like they were part of the rebellion. Oh, whatever. Well, okay. All right. You know what, Shifty?
We don't get to know about every single person who was in the rebellion in those.
Then don't put them in here.
It goes Andor, Rogue One, Episode 3. Right. Come on, we know what happened.
All right, stop. Okay, so we're just gonna get we're trying to wrap this up.
Okay.
If you want your song heard, you're gonna be quiet. All right. Anyways, let's go really quick. Final thoughts about the whole series, your episode or the chapter ranking or rating, and then the whole season rating. Dandelion, go ahead.
I would give these 3 episodes maybe a B. I wouldn't like them quite as much as last week. Overall, I think the series for me is probably like a B plus A. I liked the series overall. With little things with it that I was like, I wish they'd done that a little different or whatever. I do overall, I think I really like that this world is so expansive that it allows for so much creative, all the fanfic that's been developed about it through the years, that it's just such they're so ripe for so much world building and so many stories. And I like all these little background stories and stuff. And I don't mind that we didn't see the characters. We don't know about every single character that took part in the rebellion. And again, yes, it's difficult to believe that Clea woman didn't wind up being somebody important in the rebellion because she's very effective. But maybe she didn't want to. Maybe that wasn't where she was,
Could you not? Yeah, okay. You're right.
So it's unfortunate.
But that's the same.
But,
it's like all these people figure because they're so close to Luthen and they're fighting for Luthen being the cause of this rebellion, and they're all saying it. They're like, this is because of him. When they're fighting hard for him.
We don't get to follow everybody the whole way through. So unfortunately, there's lots of
maybe we do another series where they show up and it helps us understand. Maybe. I don't know. Whatever. Okay.
I mean, yeah, there's room for there to be other possibilities.
So
stuff.
B for this chapter, a whole series.
I said B plus A for the whole series.
Okay, B plus A. Okay, all right. Final thoughts, though, overall?
That was my final thoughts.
You've had
them.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. All right. Okay. Austinator.
Well, for this batch of episodes, I give it a B minus, I guess. It was fine. Now, overall thoughts on the show as a whole. Well, there really wasn't a high bar of quality to begin with. So, the show was good for Disney Plus standards. I'd rather watch anything else than this. Like, there are things I'd rather do than watch this. But I guess for... yeah,
you got to stream with me again.
That is a very high point, but that is true. But unfortunately, at what cost? So I had to
at a cost of 43 minutes an episode,
and 8 minutes of lovely credits.
I didn't watch the credits. I don't see why you people if you don't like the credits, don't sit through the credits.
Yeah.
Listen, just overall, it was a decent show. If you think Star Wars is back, just because Star Wars had maybe one decent show out of 15 bad ones, please do everyone a favor. Please go outside, touch grass. Please do anything
grass?
else to ingest Star Wars.
I have content. Grass. I'm smoking grass.
Okay.
I'll give the show as a whole I give it a I give it a
incomplete.
I give it a B minus, I guess.
Okay. Well, thank you, Austinator. I just want to say what a pleasure it was being able to stream with you again. Hopefully, whatever it is we stream on next time is something more to your liking. And I really am hoping for some good Star Wars somewhere that brings you back to something that you do have fond memories of. Because those memories are slowly being stabbed in the eyes and killed.
At this rate, it's not going to happen anytime soon. But I will say, Chris, it was likewise, it was great streaming with everybody again because it always, how everybody's trying to do the nostalgia bit nowadays, coming back to Chaos Central, and it's like, man, this brings me back to the good old days a few years ago where we were. It was just everything. The weekly wrap up was a thing.
It's all coming back. We'll get back to it. You're invited.
I would hope so because I was a fixture on the weekly wrap up for a hot minute.
I know. Dandelion's already looking forward to not getting licked by a cat again, which means it's our job to make sure it happens.
Austinator doesn't like that creepy cat either.
I know he doesn't.
Hey, I'm looking forward to losing as usual in the Rumble.
No.
Yep, indeed.
All right,
that's you.
Shifty.
Look, I think that there's a real possibility that Austinator might be higher than Elihu tonight. Also,
He is.
Star Wars, it's not back because it never left. Okay, a lot of these shows that have been actually pretty decent. Okay, not consistent, but pretty decent. I don't know if that makes sense, but I said it anyway. This show, I think the last 3 episodes was a. This season was maybe a B, kind of, because the last 6 episodes were great. First 6 episodes were kind of not great. Season 1 was better. Good show overall. I like it. Like it a lot. HBO level stuff. Disney needs to put out more stuff like this. Unfortunately, they don't, and now they're backing off because they suck and they don't know what to do. You know.
Apparently, these last 6 episodes had pretty good ratings.
Mm-hmm. All right. So your final grades, chapter and season.
I started off with them. I said
I know.
A for A and then B.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Elihu.
What were we doing again? I'm just
Grades, and final thoughts.
I have to give this last 3 episodes a solid B. It would be an A, but Andor wasn't in episode 10, so hey, gotta be honest there. The overall show itself, it's Star Wars-y, Star Wars-ish. It's getting an A- for me. I just wish they would have greenlighted more Star Wars projects. Like, what happened to Star Wars Rogue Squadron, like the Air Force? Come on. I want that show again. You guys pitched it. I wanted to bring back more Star Wars stuff. But make sure it's like in canon.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it. And somebody just turn on the camera.
Me.
Mm-hmm. Seth.
Okay. For this arc, I would give it an A-. I think that's a good grade. For the entire show, though, and I'm counting season 1 too. I'm gonna count both of them. A C. Just a C. There were a lot of slow parts of the whole show, slow moments, some things that just did not feel like Star Wars. But at least it ended good. You know, I would say, these last 6 episodes ended the whole series very well. So, yeah, that's my overall thoughts, really.
Okay. Positive.
Yeah, this last 3 episodes, yeah, I mean, maybe a C at best.
Okay.
Just pretty average to me.
Okay.
Nothing, super great to me in any of them. And yeah, this whole season to me was worse than season 1. So yeah, I'd probably just go D plus for this whole. There was only 2 to me good episodes this season.
It did feel rushed, and like there was a lot of missing stuff because of the.
Yeah, I think just having. They wanted to do 5, and they had to condense it, and they just squeezed, in a way, maybe too much stuff together.
And not enough stuff together.
And too fast.
Well, it's funny because we talk about other series that Disney has done, and we're like, they took too many episodes because there wasn't enough stuff, and now here we are talking about. Now they rushed this one, and now there was too much stuff that needed to be fitted in. So
I'm not. My question is not so much that it's too much.
I mean, there's a lot of
the right stuff in. So
there's a lot of unanswered questions. But yeah, and even Gilroy said, yeah, I purposely did not have a solution for Cassian's sister. So I mean, you wrote this stuff and you don't have a solution for, somebody you show in the first episode of the show. It makes me think like, okay, how well did you plan this, or maybe so much got left on the cutting room floor that you can't throw everything in there, so it's best just to leave it hanging, basically. And
Well, but again,
that's basically what we're left with here. We're left with
but,
Bix hanging with Cassian Jr. We're left with Vel and Clea and Wilmon hanging. We're left, with, so you have a lot, like you said. He didn't, like in Rogue One, at least, well, or maybe not at least, but everyone, who was on the rebel side, is gone practically, except for Leia, who escaped in the Tantive 4. So, having no resolution makes me wonder. That's all.
okay. This grouping, I'll still give it an A. I liked it a lot. The whole series, this season, A. I just like the stuff. I've talked about it before. I won't go into any major sides of it again. So I'd be interested to see more stuff kind of like this, but maybe not. I think they're like Paz was just saying, the straying with so many loose ends. And I think the part about his sister, I'm not worried about that. I think that's just a motivation thing. And they kind of didn't really, the whole series, they didn't really follow through with it all that much. So, and then going back to the whole idea that in the long run, Andor's dead. He's going to die. It's like, we don't need to follow all that. So I was okay. But that's my point about the ones you leave open. It's like, then you need to at least move them forward past this. As far as we know, they're sitting on Yavin 4 still.
Maybe they get exploded on Yavin 4.
Well, but my point is do something to at least move them forward into the story also. I don't know. Willem comes up to Andor as he's getting in the thing. He says, I got something to do. And he says, I do too. They're going to let me fly an X-Wing. I don't know. Something to move his story forward. Something to move their story forward. Again, that's my biggest... That's a faux pas, in my opinion. So, anyways, with all that said, guys, thank you very much, everybody that was here. Before we play Shifty's wonderful song, we're going to let everybody do a quick sign-off. Dandelion, please tell everybody about yourself.
Bye, everyone. It was nice to be here.
Very good.
Dandelion fun.
Austinator.
Hi, everybody. I'm the Austinator. It's great to be back on Chaos Central.
Very good. Seth.
Hi, I'm Seth, and I'm really glad to be here. Thank you, Chris, for inviting me for the show. And
thank you for being here.
Glad to be here always.
Awesome. No, I appreciate everybody that was here. Austinator, thank you for coming back. Seth, Elihu, Shifty, Dandelion, Positive, all you guys, thank you very much. Elihu, go ahead.
I'm Elihu. Thank you guys for having me on here. You guys can find me on all my socials right here on this name, Elihu. And hopefully, like everybody else, I am looking forward to the early release of Superman.
Very good. Shifty.
Hey, I'm Shifty still. Thanks for having me. And Chris, please do a show for Alien Earth in August.
We'll talk about it, and I'll get with you and Austinator in a group chat. We can talk about a watch party thing of some sort. We'll talk about that. Okay.
Or a roundtable.
We'll talk about that too.
Okay.
I'm talking about the Alien through from 1 on watch party.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
We'll talk about that. Anyways, Positive.
Positive Candor here. Glad to be a part of this.
Very good. Well, thank you guys, all of you, for being here. I'm Chris Knight. This is Chaos Central. I'm from the Real Review 3000. We're going to be back tomorrow night with the Rule of Three. So we're back to our Chaos shows. We're going to be getting back on my channel on the Real Review to our weekly wrap-ups, the Rumble, all that stuff. We're going to get back to that soon. So thank you, everybody who was here tonight. I greatly appreciate it. And I really enjoyed this. It's been a while. Needed to get back into it, and I'm glad we could. Now, Shifty took it upon himself to write a song of passion and just from the heart. And I actually think Austinator will love this. I gotta find it. Right here it is. Very good. Oh, now I have to reload it. Oh my word. Okay. Oh no. We'll try it again. Hold on.
You can put it in the group chat if you can't find it.
No, I got it right here.
Okay.
Here we go. All right. Oh. Ah. Okay, here we go. Uh-oh.
You're frozen.
Hold on. Yeah.
I have chickens I have to go feed.
Oh, hold on just a second. Hold on. Ah.
Thumbs up.
Ah. Oh, hold on just a second, guys.
I ruined it all.
Andor's off to Rogue One sounds like something like a euphemism.
I thought you got your computer fixed, Chris.
Yeah, but he's still gonna boomer this shit. It's Chris.
Oh, that's right.
You forgot.
God, he's old.
I think he's younger than us. Still.
Yeah, he is.
He's still the boomer. He can be the boomer.
I'm just an old man.
If you can't get it running, I linked it underneath the.
Threatening me,
It's also in the group chat. I'm like, hello. Just link the group chat and play.
Yep.
Ah.
But
Hold
for
on,
anybody,
just- No, I got it. Hold on. Hold on.
should I get out and push?
No.
You know, right?
No.
You need some new gerbils.
No.
I did try turning it off and on.
No, sorry. I just have a bunch of stuff running and it's wanting to restart for updates. So sorry. All right, here we go. Right here. There we go. All right, and make sure that I still have. All right, cool. There we go. Here we go.
If I could be serial about my man Cyril eating cereal in this Star Wars cereal show about Cassian Andor, the rebellion he stands for, even though it seems a chore for some fans to follow. But that doesn't bother me if they don't like their TV. Complicated, just easy, with space wizards and laser beams. Some soulless and hollow, but in this one, there's some shit going on. The Senate ain't listening to my gal Mon, but she can't be up front or her ass will be gone. Quicker than them haters working up a yawn over a political espionage-driven plot, and the security guard Cassian shot, which led to efforts in getting him caught, which backfired on Cyril. This cast teamed up with Luthen, pulled a heist with Mimic and some lesbians, escaped but still wound up in prison, making Death Star parts of heavy steel. Escaped again, but had to swim, made it back home to rescue his friends, because he always finds them and left them on a foreign planet. The whole time Cyril is like, God damn it, as he and Dedra try to track their asses down. Years pass and Gormon's rebel, massacre ensues and many fell, including Cyril, who had no story to tell. As he died unknown by the man he spent years tracking, and was unaware of the Empire's fracking of the mystery they were about to be cracking. In BBY1, Edra managed to out-Luthen, the man of mystery, architect of the rebellion, but she got no credit for catching the Hellion, the thorn in her side, as info on the Death Star leaked, which raged Krennic. In few words after that she did speak, as she wound up in the clink, imprisoned on Narkina 5, because the Empire's big secret was no longer hid. And investigate in the Rogue One Cassian did, while unaware he had a kid and died a hero without a rope. He had faith though, because rebellions are built on hope.
Oh well, you're asking me to do stuff that's been forever.
Yeah, I was like, full screen him. I was trying to.
Oh yeah, no, I gotta do it over here. I have to do it over here. There you go.
I love that. I love that. I was totally improv. I love that.
It's beautiful. All right, guys. Thank you very much, everyone. I appreciate it very much. And with that said, guys, I believe let's see here. Yeah, that's a wrap. Here we go.